we kind of came up with a number of indicators, one of them being, how are you lowering costs? I think a lot of people think about social media as being, the amount of sales that you make or the amount of revenue. But actually one really good value indicator is the fact that you might be saving costs elsewhere. So maybe your call centre, maybe in store, maybe with a lot of collateral that you might be sending out that maybe not reaching the right kind of people, because online is obviously very targeted. Things like empowering your sales team and your workforce to understand about all your different products and services. If you can do that through social media, then they will actually go out and talk about and evangelise your products and services as well. There are other things like return on inaction. A lot of people talk about return on investment, but what we're looking at is, what are the risks involved in not getting involved? What are the risks in not helping this advertiser help themselves? So we look at it not just in the case of return on investment, but also return on inaction. And then the other thing is if people know how to use your products and services better, then they're likely to spend more, or they're likely to use it up, so they'll need to buy another one very soon. So there's all these different ways that you can tell a story that isn't just necessarily related to sales, to indicate how your B2B social media, and B2C to that matter, social media campaigns are really being effective. I think people really identify, they need to find an official voice, because that gives them that kind of trust out there. So for us it would be at Ad Center on Twitter, or the Microsoft advertising blog, because that's a trusted source of information. But once they get to know the personalities in there, you see, the important thing about social media online is to actually show that your brand actually do have real people there. If people can identify with real people, then we find that the kind of brand affinity, and the loyalty and the trust gets that much more exacerbated, and really, really helps to advance our cause and help, in our case, help advertisers and marketers. So we balance it between personal and public. I get sent to conferences like this, which I'm very pleased about, and that's where I can engage personally, representing Microsoft with all our customers, and then I can take those relationships back online, and I'll go to our Twitter handle, and then I'll start following all the people that I connected with at different conferences there. So I think it's really important to have personalities, real human faces behind the brand, because then sometimes people can kind of not really trust what they're seeing, because the brand is kind of faceless. So trying to strike a balance between the two is very, very key. People get really bogged down with the whole social media being online, but we see social media as the tools, but social media marketing as the discipline that should be permeating all your different departments, whether it's sales, marketing, PR, people on the shop floor, people in the back office. They should all be socialising and talking about the great content or the great products or services that you have. But social media doesn't necessarily need to be online, because we as humans are tools, if you like, because we're going out to conferences, if we're talking about Microsoft advertising, and we are having social interactions. We're going to the parties, we're going to the sessions, we're writing about the sessions, we're meeting people, we're connecting, and we're networking. So translating those kind of sales online, is what happens is I'll meet somebody, I'll get the business card, and I'll follow them on Twitter from Microsoft advertising. And that's translated into a potential lead there, but it's certainly a lead that someone hopefully will follow us back, and they might learn something about some of our products and services. It's a long tail, but it's very, very important to remember that us as human beings, being sociable inherently, makes us social media as well. Earned media is where you're looking at social media, particularly, where people are actually talking about your brand and then sharing. So you're doing something good. So if we write a blog post about, I don't know, the Yahoo search transition, something like that, something that's helpful, and people are sharing it, then we're earning that trust, we're earning that retweet to those other people that think, hey, Microsoft's actually come up with some good tricks and tips here about how to get their campaigns into Ad Center. I'm going to broadcast it out. And a really good case study of how that worked, especially on a B2C level, was Windows 7 launch, where the guys that were out on Twitter and Facebook and various other social media channels they measured 221 million impressions of earned media. And the way that you demonstrate the value on that is by working out how much it would cost in paid media for those 221 million, and you'll probably find that the cost for the earned media was considerably lower than what was paid. So again, that's a really good value indicator.